the regular Board of Education meeting. It's Monday, August 11th, 2025 at 6 p.m. The Board of Education makes available at least one current copy of the Open Meetings Act, which is posted on the west wall of the meeting room and accessible to members of the public. Will you please stand and recite the Pledge of Allegiance with me?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, we will start with the consent agenda. Do I have a motion, please?
I move that the Board of Education of District 15 approve the consent agenda as presented, including approval of minutes of the regular Board of Education meeting on July 14th, 2025, approval of the proposed accounts for payment, approval of budgetary receipts and expenditures for July 2025, approval of minutes of the special hearings on July 14th, 2025, approval of options students, and excuse Brandon Matrosky.
All right, thank you. We have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Rick. And Jason, do you have a treasurer's report?
I do. So for the month of July, expenditures payroll was $1,651,895.49. Bills were $329,364.55, which brought the total expenditures to $1,981,260.04. As is the case with July and August, because they are always lean revenue months, our revenue was only $310,722.01. July and August, like I said, are lean revenue months due to no state aid payments. State aid comes in 10 equal installments, September through June. So July and August, there's no state aid payments. On that note, our state aid payments will drop next year from $585,023 a month to $494,758 a month, or a loss of $902,653 total. So just keep that in mind. In the coming weeks, we'll be talking budget, and I'll have to say a little more about that in the superintendent report at the end of the meeting. But for this year, being 11/12 or 91.6% of the way through the budget cycle, we spent 87.21% of the budget. With 1 month remaining, we are underspent by 4.39%. So those are just the numbers of where we are in the budget at this point. And so we have plenty of budget authority moving forward into the last month.
Okay, thank you. Any questions for Jason? All right, are there any items on the consent agenda that the board would like to pull off for further discussion? All right, seeing none, can I have your votes, please? And motion passes. All right, next up, outstanding recognition, education friend of the month, Mr. Alexander, Dr. Nielsen.
Okay, if we can get Christina down in front with us, we would like to recognize her. We don't have an employee of the month for this month because it's the first few weeks of school, and we don't have a business friend of the month because, to be honest with you, we've been through almost all the businesses in town at one point or another over the course of the last 2 years. So not saying we won't hit a couple more that may pop up, but tonight we thought it was appropriate and important to honor and recognize and show our appreciation for our local Teammates chapter that was recently recognized statewide. Teammates Mentoring was founded in 1991 by Coach Tom Osborne and his wife Nancy, who believed that positive relationships could change lives. What started with 22 Husker football players mentoring middle school students in Lincoln, Nebraska, has grown into a powerful movement proven from the start, as nearly all of those original mentees graduated and pursued further educational careers. Since 1991, more than 49,000 students have been impacted. There are now chapters in 6 states. Almost 10,000 students in grades 3 through 12 are matched with a caring adult annually. The mission of the program is to positively impact the world by inspiring students to reach their full potential through mentoring. The school-based mentoring program matches students 3rd through 12th grade with an adult mentor based on shared interests or experiences. Mentors have applied and been screened. They complete 2 hours of training before they are matched. The mentors meet their mentee once a week for about 30 minutes during study hall or lunch usually. They focus on building friendships by playing games, talking about their strengths, working on a project or a craft together, shooting hoops, or just having conversation. We build hope, and we know that hope is the biggest predictor of success for students. Laura Edmonds and our good friend Christina Lyons serve as co-coordinators for our chapter here in Beatrice. And they have a board of 9 adults: Brittany Rude, Dylan Kendall, Jamie Killian, Lisa Sand, Carrie Kendall, Amber Lovett, Joyce Winsbauer, thank you, Connie Leach, and Dakota Hurley. So at the recognition banquet, the Beatrice chapter was recognized as the Southeast Regional Chapter of the Year, and during the 24-25 school year, they have shown outstanding dedication to mentor recruitment, making new matches, engaging their community, building brand awareness, embracing innovation, and upholding the teammates' mission. They are a recipient this year of a Read Literacy Grant for the 3rd year, and so they can use this to help students in 3rd through 8th grade increase their proficiency. And they are excited to begin this school year. Our mentors will not begin seeing their mentees in the schools until after Labor Day to help get back in routine, said Christine. So, on behalf of Beatrice Public Schools, we thank you for all you do with the Teammates chapter and our kids. So, there we go.
Certificate and a little plaque.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, thanks, Christine. Next up, public forum, and we did not receive any requests to speak tonight, so we'll move on to the discussion portion. First up, BPS goals and theme update for 25-26. Dr. Nielsen, looks like you're up.
I am. Find the presentation. Slowly coming up. Just thinking tonight. Okay, so we started off the 25-26 school year with a bang. I will tell you, it was awesome. It was so much fun to welcome our 20 new teachers. It was so much fun to welcome all the staff back. There is an excitement in the buildings, and you can tell when you walk in each of the buildings that we really are all moving in the same direction. And so it really is, it is fun. And not that we haven't been for years, but you just feel the excitement, you feel that we are ready to go. Our theme this year is keeping the eye on the prize. And the prize is student outcomes, student success. So that is our focus, and as you can see on the next page, this is what the t-shirts will look like. We are working with the Beatrice Educational Foundation to have t-shirts for everyone. This is the design for the teachers, for the t-shirts. So all staff will receive a t-shirt. We are working on getting those ordered, but again, just focusing on that eye on the prize and focusing on how do we continue to make sure that that is part of what we talk about, part of what we think about all the time, because student outcomes and student success is really our main goal. So as we kind of reflect a little bit back, in 24-25, what different things did they give us? What prizes did we see? Well, number one, we successfully opened a PK-5 building. And yes, we had some hiccups, yes, we had some road bumps, but you know what? We saw some success, and we saw, as you will see in that next bullet, and even from some of our other data pieces at other buildings, there are some successful outcomes that we saw last year as well, already starting to move us in the right direction. So as we look at the prize for 25-26, we know that we are driven by our mission. Our mission is to equip every student with the tools to pursue their goals and contribute to society through purposeful and relevant educational experiences built around strong relationships. So again, going back to that student outcome, that student success. As we look at this year, these are the goals that we are targeting. So the state goal is to increase third grade proficiency on ELA to 75% of our students proficient by 2030. I will tell you, Commissioner Maher has moved that up. It's now 2027. So as we looked at the teachers, we said, here's the deal. Last year it was 2030. It's moved up to 2027. We went to a training middle of July. I said, there's no reason why we can't do it. I said, we'll continue to work hard. We will continue to persevere. We will continue to focus on just grit and let's go. So our goal, we are pushing and we are working to look at those pieces and finding ways to ensure that we have strong Tier 1 core curriculum in the classroom and that works to help our kids in those foundational skills of reading. The other thing we're working on are our systems, really making sure we have PK systems that align so that when you go building to building, classroom to classroom, you see commonalities, you see things that you're seeing across the board. You have language, so when you're talking about teaming structures or when we're talking about this instructional practice or this instructional model, making sure that everyone knows what page we're on. Because here's the thing, we also have, just like we did last year, we have this year teachers moving buildings too to teach different subjects, different grade levels. We want to make sure that they understand when I leave this building and go to this building, there are quite a few similar things. Yes, every building will have its differences, but we still need to have some similar things that are seen throughout. So we are working on that and then becoming stronger with that Tier 1, Tier 2, Tier 3. So how do we make sure that all kids get what they need? And then how do we put in supports? How do we add on supports for those Tier 2 kids where they need those additional supports? And then how do we layer even more on top for those kids that struggle, that maybe are 2 or more grade levels behind? So it's all a plus, so I have Tier 1 plus Tier 2 plus Tier 3 if I need it, so that I have multitudes of supports to help me get back on track. Because a child that's 2 plus grade levels below, they need to see at least a year, if not more. They need to see probably 2 years growth in a year time frame. And so that's the thing, is we've got a lot of work to do with students that are falling into that Tier 3. And our teachers, our paras, our secretaries, nutrition services staff, counselors, I will tell you, everyone across the board is committed. And that's what's fun to see. The other great news is we do have the CLSD grant. This is the Comprehensive Literacy Grant that allows us to help provide tutoring to our K-5 students, provide supports for our preschool parents to figure out what are those foundational literacy elements. Helps us provide professional development for 9 through 12. What does science reading mean for me as a 6-12 teacher? If I'm a reading teacher, if I'm an English language arts teacher, I will tell you my background is English, but I never took a class in reading. I'm a 7-12 English teacher indoors, but I was never taught how to teach reading. I was taught literature, plenty of it. And so those are the things we need to figure out how to make sure that our 7-12 teachers, 6-12 teachers understand how do I ensure that students are reading this and comprehending what they are reading. So it's very exciting. That grant is a 5-year grant. Years 1 and 2 actually happened this year. So year 1 ends October, I think September 30th. Year 2 starts October 1st, so we will be very busy. We have a meeting on Thursday with the administrative team just to go through our first steps. And then we have a meeting with the other individuals that we will be working with to go through the professional development needs and make sure that we get moving pretty quickly. And as long as the funds are still there, we will see this throughout the full 5 years. So we are hoping that this is something that is continued to be funded, because I will tell you, professional development and literacy is absolutely needed. If we want our teachers to help our students, well, we need to make sure that they have the tools in their toolbox. So the other image that we're moving on to is really developing our MTSS framework and providing, again, that professional development, that learning as to what is MTSS. It means multi-tiered systems of support. How are we making sure that those systems of support are there for every single child? Because even though I'm a Tier 1 child, I may need a Tier 2 intervention at times. I may have a concept that I struggle with, so I might need an intervention. Well, what is that intervention? How are we going to do it? When are we going to put it in to make sure that you get it? So we have this is a reading group. It's Scarborough's Road, but we want to show how everything weaves together, because that sometimes our communication doesn't always show that things go together, that this professional development actually links to this, actually links to this, and it links to this. So that's one of the things we're trying to do, is create an image that shows how everything weaves together, ultimately, that successful students, that student outcomes. So that is what we are working on. We will not be fully finished at the end of this year. We've made great gains, but we still have a lot of work to do. And so, the last thing, here we go. This was one of the first things with our new teachers. So, on Friday, it's kind of exciting, huh? I wasn't expecting the music. I guess I had my volume turned on when I downloaded it, or I had it turned off because I was maybe in professional development working. But we had a great first few days with our brand new teachers. We're very excited to have them here. We have amazing staff that we have brought in, paraprofessionals. And the cool thing about some of our paras, some of our teachers, is they are former staff coming back. And so they left for a little bit, and now they're back at Beatrice because they know that we have a great system. They know that we have great people that surround them. They know we have great kids. So it's really, I'm excited. And I think we all are excited.
Yeah, it was a great start with new teachers and welcoming our teachers back that have been with us for a while. We talked to them about the why behind what we do, and that was part of what we reminded them about. Talked about fear, failure, and optimism, because we're all going to have those things, and how in fear the word ear is there, and you have to listen to your strong voice inside when you become fearful, and you have to trust that voice. And we talked about failure, and we're human, and we're all going to have experience failure at times, and build a relationship and a recovery system for failure. So, and then finally we talked to them about grit versus quit, and just messages that we heard at the HumanX conference. We tried to bring back and weave those into the start of the school year. So we are very excited. We think we've got a great group of new teachers, and we know that we have some skilled people to help bring them on board, and believe it or not, tomorrow's the first day. So we're excited to go.
All right, thank you. All right, next up, action portion. We will start with the approval of JCI software controls proposal. Do I have a motion?
I move that the Board of Education of District 15 approve the software controls proposal with JCI.
Thank you. I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Eric. Mr. Alexander.
So if you recall, the first proposal we got from Johnson Controls was a little over $20,000. We met with them again, talked about the ins and outs of why it was that way. They did have some reasons, some things that we didn't feel like we needed, so we were able to negotiate that back down to $8,528, which is a 1.32% increase over last year. So it is something we have to do, because Johnson Controls does have the Medicine system that controls the HVAC system all the way across the district, and they do the software updates for that. So it is necessary for us to have that, and they'll do that quarterly. Come and if we need them, we can call them, and they'll come down and work on the system as well.
Okay, thank you. Any questions? All right, seeing none, can I have your votes, please? And motion passes. All right, next up, excuse me, approval of Prairie Mechanical Preventive Maintenance Agreement. Do I have a motion, please?
I move that the Board of Education of District 15 approve the preventative maintenance agreement with Prairie Mechanical.
Thank you. I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Eric. And again, Mr. Alexander.
Okay, so similar, but on the other side of the HVAC is the equipment, and all the equipment that the software runs has to be maintained, and that includes belts, compressors, all the parts, moving parts that in every one of the units across the district.
So that takes visiting them every month, and they work out a schedule to do that. We've been working with, this is our second year with Prairie Mechanical, so adding the elementary to the preventative maintenance program is a $15,925 cost that wasn't there last year because of the elementary was under warranty. So we add that with the high school, middle school, $67,200. That brings total preventative maintenance for 25-26 to $83,125.
Okay, thank you. Any questions? All right, seeing none, can I have your votes, please? And motion passes. All right, next up, approval of purchase of teacher laptops and student Chromebooks. Do I have a motion, please?
I move that the Board of Education of District 15 approve the quotes from Sterling for the purchase of teacher laptops and student Chromebooks for a total cost of $29,663.63.
Okay, thank you. I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Eric. Jason?
Okay, so initially, in working with our technology staff, they were really hoping to be able to hold off the purchase of the staff computers until next year. But as we talked about it and looking at how many there are to update, it made sense to try and do some of those this year, given where our budget authority is and our budget situation. So we did decide to do 20 of those. And get those 20 out of the way, because there's probably that many again next year that need to be taken care of. So that's what the staff Chromebooks or the staff laptops are about. The 15 Chromebooks are just on the basis of needing those for students starting the school year. I don't know that we have that many more students or new students that have enrolled in the district, but we are in need of 15 more Chromebooks to get the year started. And so we'll know those enrollment numbers when all the online enrollments and all that's done, but we know there's a need for at least 15 more Chromebooks, so wanted to bring that for your approval.
Okay, thank you. Any questions? All right, seeing none, can I have your votes, please? And motion passes. All right, next up, purchase of side-by-side. Do I have a motion, please?
I move that the Board of Education of District 15 authorize Mr. Alexander to purchase a side-by-side for up to $15,000.
Okay, thank you. I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second. And Jason.
Okay, so Mr. Alexander won't actually be doing the purchase. Mr. Alexander is just overseeing the money that goes toward the purchase. But essentially, we've had what we call the mule, which is a side-by-side for I don't know how long, but it's in really bad shape. We've been limping along with this for the past 2 years, and it's stuck in low gear right now. As a matter of fact, last week we thought it had died completely. The mule was dead, but it was able to be repaired by one of our maintenance guys to get it running again. The long and short of it is we need to have one because of what it allows us to do. It gets used to we have a golf cart that takes people to the other side. We could also use, during football games, we could also use the mule to take people to the other side. But there are plenty of other reasonable uses for a side-by-side. Lawn care, hauling spectators to and from the west side of the football stadium, landscaping, snow removal, moving items out to the House of Orange from the high school and then back. There's a constant need for one. This summer, we needed one to water the trees. I know God did a great job of doing that for us this summer as well, but there were times when we needed to water the trees according to what needed to be done out at the new elementary to keep those going. So that also had to be done. We thought we had one for around $8,000 to $10,000, and it got sold. So just knowing what these cost, I'm asking for your authorization up to $15,000. If we can find a good used one for less than that, then we will spend less than that. But they're not easy to find. So, and I'd like to get it done in this budget cycle. So that's in the next 20 days or so.
Okay, any questions? All right, seeing none, can I have your votes, please? Motion passes. All right, next up, approval of Tech Masters estimate to replace booster heaters. Do I have a motion, please?
I move that the Board of Education of District 15 approve the estimate from Tech Masters to replace a booster heater at Beatrice High School for a total cost of $6,624.83.
Okay, I have a motion. I have a second.
Second.
Second by Eric. Dr. Nielsen.
Are you gonna tell the story about it?
I can tell the story, yes.
Okay.
So, about 2 weeks ago, Mr. Alexander and I met with Dawn Holthus, and went through things, and we were just talking about her budget and talking about how we thought everything had been fixed, we thought everything had been taken care of over this past year. However, we spoke too soon. Because not only do we have a purchase this month, but I will also tell you about something that will be brought to you next month too, that needs to be addressed. So, the booster heater at the high school for the dishwasher was tripping the circuit breaker, so it needed to be replaced because it was overheating. Dawn thankfully caught it in time so that we didn't ruin the whole component and have to replace everything. So we are looking to replace that for $6,624.83. The next piece that she found out was that her walk-in freezer unit at the high school, there is a compressor or a condensing unit that is not working. They couldn't make it out today because of the rain, so they tried to make it out to figure out which one it was. And that's either going to be a $12,000 or a $21,000 purchase too. So we are working with her, but we know that both of these things have to be fixed because you have to have the dishwasher in order to make sure you sanitize all the equipment. You've got to make sure it's hot enough, and the freezer needs to be fixed too. So we will be moving forward with these pieces, but all we're asking for is the booster right now. The other piece, once we have it figured out, will come at the September board meeting.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, any other questions? All right, seeing none, can I have your votes, please? And motion passes. All right, that ends our action portion. Next up, administrator's report. Mr. Alexander.
So not a whole lot for you tonight, just a quick budget update. Official valuation numbers will be submitted this Friday. That's when they're due. Those numbers will determine a lot for the district. The budget is mostly developed on estimated valuation numbers and real growth numbers. Those are the two key numbers that I'm waiting on from the county assessor right now. So she's been great, giving me good estimates to work with, but those are just estimates. And as close as we are right now to the official certification coming out and official numbers, it just makes sense to wait and determine the next steps once we have those. So I'll get those on Friday, try and put those together, and keep you informed of what it looks like next week. And then we can make our plans from there as to what that means for us moving into budget season here, as to whether or not we go to the postcard hearing meeting and ask for additional authority, or whether we don't. So I'll know that this Friday. Tomorrow, our staff welcomes back K through 5th graders, 6th graders, and 9th graders for a half day. So we're excited on that. We talked a lot about that already. And then all day kindergarten through 12th grade comes on Tuesday. Wednesday, sorry. And then preschool comes on Friday. So Thursday.
Thursday, yes.
Did I just got wrong days on the calendar? So,
Your day off, was that last year maybe?
I must have been last year. So, yeah. Anyway, kids are back this week. It'll be good to have them back in the buildings. I think staff is ready for them, staff is excited for them, and the 25-26 school year begins. That's all I have.
All right, any questions? All right, next up, I'm requesting to go to executive discussion to discuss a matter involving legal advice regarding the district and for the protection of public interest. Do I have a motion, please?
I move that the Board of Education of District 15 enter into executive session to discuss a matter involving legal advice regarding the district and for the protection of the public interest.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Second. Okay, we will go to the executive session. Once everybody is. And then Christina, we adjourn, so.
I'm sorry.
And then we adjourn.
You don't need to close the door?
Yes.
Yes.